Alright, well, I promised you guys some vocal processing tips, so I'm just going to go over some basics here on the song I recorded earlier in the week. I think we're going to work on it some more in class, but here is my main lead vocal. I've got a double, and then I have 4 sort of background ooh vocals. And what I think I'm going to do is probably do my processing on the main vocal. I'll do a high pass filter, try to grab a couple resonances maybe, and pull those out, and then some compression. And what I'll probably do is then just quickly cut and paste and see if copy that plugin into the other vocal tracks and see if we like how that sounds. Okay, so I'm just going to click on here, go into plugins. This is really what I'm going to end up with here on the channel strip, but you guys may not find it there. It's going to have equalizers and compressors, and so it will exist under this EQ tab or dynamics, but I'm going to go get channel strip, and there it is. Up on top we have the compressor part, on the bottom we have the equalizer part. Excuse me. These tabs here show us the different dynamic functions up here. We're going to come back to the limiter, but we're going to start out down here in the equalizer. And what I'm going to do is this little dot right here turns on the high pass filter. We're probably going to end up with the high pass filter around 100, right? But I will start with it too high and bring it down. Okay. I'll do it the first time with the whole song, and I guess you can get a flavor of the pop rocky adult contemporary goodness of Sam Ortolano as a musician. But then I'll probably solo it so we can hear it a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Alright, so let's solo this. Normally I don't recommend that you process things in solo mode, but sometimes for something like this where it's just trying to get rid of the badness, that's okay. So remember, I have this philosophy where you have two main reasons that you're doing things. One is to get rid of the badness, and the other is to add the goodness. Here we're just looking to get rid of extra sounds that don't need to be there. So okay, that sounds a little thin. Right about there sounds good. There's some sound we don't need. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle, she's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat. And there I've overloaded things already. Okay. When we're mixing, you can have your playback engine up as high as you want, right? So I'm going to go to 1024, hit OK, and now hopefully it won't bother us again. All right, but I think that's where I'm going to end up. I've got it at 150. 'Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cause my head to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle, she's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cause my head to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle, she's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. Alright, and I hope you heard a little bit of difference there, but just getting rid of some extra stuff that we don't really need. Alright, now I'm going to hunt for some resonance that in this actual microphone that I'm talking into right now. The best way is just to know what frequencies sound like and cut the frequency that you want. If it's the wrong one, try a different one. And that's a philosophy that I've been preaching for a while, but I'm not going to show you that today. No, I'm going to show you the sweep and cut. So I'm going to take this here. I'm going to boost this, but I need this to be a much thinner, narrower bandwidth. So this is our Q here, right? More like that. Okay. So we're going to play here. I'm going to sweep it back and forth, and if we hear, it ends up making kind of a tone, and you'll hear it as sort of this sustained, buzzy tone. So, and then that's where we will then take it and try to cut. All right. 'Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always
one right there.
She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always
Okay, do you hear that?
She's not a vegetarian, she just. So the other trick that I like is if I hold shift and I click it. Used to let me do that, but if I hold control, that's it. So now it's not going to go left and right. It's the bandwidth. Okay, so right there at about 500. I'm going to cut at 500, and let's try about 6 dB. 'Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my.
Oh yeah, I can really hear that. I hope you can.
She always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. 'Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't.
You hear that one?
And she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. 'Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. 'Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle,
Okay,
she
I'll
always
do
tried
it,
to
but
recycle. She's
only
not
a little bit.
vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. Okay, now don't be fooled by again the psychoacoustic effect, where if it's louder it sounds better, right? When I bypassed that, my first thought was, oh, that sounds better, but it's because it's louder. Now try and distinguish just with the different frequencies. 'Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat.
Cleaner,
got a broken bicycle, she
not as resonant.
She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cost my to skip a beat.
Better.
Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. Okay, so there we go. High pass filter, we got it at 150. We're doing 3 cuts. Pretty narrow at 500, a little under 1K, and right about at 2K. So here, this is where we see the compressor. Let's add the compressor. And if you remember my thing, I like the attack as fast as possible, the release as fast as possible, the ratio high to start out with. Let's do there about 20 to 1, and then the threshold low. Okay.
Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat.
Okay.
Got a broken bicycle, she always.
I'm gonna raise the threshold a little bit there because I really want the volume to be going back and forth across the threshold, right? If it's too low, let's get that also. Maybe that's as low as it'll go. There, it's just compressed all the time, and we're not actually going to hear the attacks and the releases. So.
She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat.
Okay, and now I'm gonna add a longer attack.
She don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million.
So that's too long.
Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat.
Alright, this is not a very good one for attack, so I'll keep it around there. 7. There, if the release is too long, it's just dull. And a little more life. Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million. Okay. Right about there, I can hear the room. There's pumping too much. There, that's too long. There, I like it right about there. So that's the attack, the release, the ratio. I like it much more down around 3 to 1. Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she... So there, that's my attack, release, ratio, and threshold. My attack, pretty fast. Release, kind of medium-ish. Threshold, pretty low. And then my ratio is at 3 to 1. Now the gain, I'm going to revisit the gain, and I want to try to get the gain to be just making up whatever is being reduced. So let's see if it is around 6 dB, that'll be about right. Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. More like 9. She just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, Okay, so now this is where we do the test and we bypass. Let's hear it before we did any of this processing and make sure we're making it better and not worse. Cause she's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't. She's pretty and she's funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and Cosmo had to skip a beat. Processed. Got a broken bicycle, she always unprocessed. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat meat. Okay, so now let's hear that with the rest of the song. Got a broken bicycle, she always tried to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't.
funny and she don't make lots of money, but her smile's worth $1 million and cosmetic skipping. Got a broken bicycle, she always tries to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat.
Okay, so I thought that was a good demonstration there, right? When I bypassed it, it kind of sunk back into the mix. I couldn't really hear it as well. When I added the high pass filter, the EQ, and the compression, it popped out a little more. So I'm going to try to make that only 9 dB. And then I'm going to hold the Option key, click and drag, and just drop that same thing onto all of the other vocals. Probably would end up raising the ratio on the compressors, but everything else probably about the same. So let's hear it on all the vocals. The things on the vocals. Not processed. Yes, processed. Got a broken bicycle, she always tries to recycle. She's not a vegetarian, she just doesn't eat. There we go. Okay, so one last time. And this is the order that I like to do them in, right? High pass filter, and then I'll sweep for resonances and pull them out, keep them very narrow cuts, no more than 6 dB. And I tend to end up with this sort of a pattern where like I cut the most on the lowest and then less and less and less. In the compressor, I like to do attack, release, ratio, and threshold, and and then the makeup gain, yes. So that's quick general guidelines for how to start processing vocals in Pro Tools. But the principles apply to anything at all. Okay, I hope that was educational, and I can't wait to hear what you guys process. All right, I will see you soon.